Hey guys, it's Jen back today and sharing day 2 of my personal routines, rituals, daily happenings in a daily journal format style to help any of my viewers who are going through their own journey of understanding self image, body image, working to build a more positive self, whether it be from a body perspective, a self image perspective, self doubt, confidence, or such an important topic for me, and I know so many others, letting that anxiety go, better managing anxious moments. So, here I have a lot of notes today, so I'm going to look to my notes. And my daily routine really follows very similar. My daily intent today is progress forward with ease and grace. The thing about progress is it is whatever we make of it. And for me, I love focusing on the easiness that things can be if we focus on them as such. I followed with a nice almost 5 mile power walk outside in nature, getting the nature part in, followed by a nice strong 30-minute HIIT workout, which included, and I'll run it through, which included sumo squats, skaters, squat lunges, both sides left and right, walking lunges, calf raises, combination of other leg side raises for toning, and then wall sits and burpees, and did 3 sets of those. They were amazingly beautiful and definitely felt the legs. Followed that up with wall push-ups, 100 wall push-ups. I personally like adding combinations of legs, push-ups, and abs in daily. I tend to find for me, it helps me tone all over more effectively longer. And then really followed that through with a 20-minute meditation and a 15-minute energy work session on myself to keep myself energetically in balance. So, if you've followed my last couple videos, you know that as all of us, we all have triggers. We all have lessons that come up for us throughout the day. And I can tell you that a couple of the things that were very present to me in a couple of the conversations that I had, for one, guys, know who you are. Know so solidly who you are and what you want and what your aligned state is, so that when other people are coming in with their thoughts and their opinions and what gifts they're trying to give you about them, you're so solid in you that it doesn't faze you. The thing about it is especially when we're with people for a long time, like long relationships, whether it be with our spouse or for friends, there's usually some type of just little pet peeves, right? Just little things that can tend to get to us. And if we know, love, and appreciate those about ourselves and about the other person we're in a relationship with, it helps us move through a whole lot quicker. And if we know that about each other, in my mind and what I've experienced within my relationships, it's easier to blow it off. It's easier to giggle about it. It's easier to not let it get under your skin, per se, and just move through it. And bigger than any of that, guys, again, I'm all about letting the triggers go and living your best life. And I come back to what I first said when I started this topic today. It's knowing who your aligned state is. And as I say that, I'm going to do a longer video on that later in the week or next week. So you can get a handle more in depth of what that one looks like. The other thing I wanted to mention on this topic, again, very present to me in conversation and my listening with a couple people, is when other people want you to change to accommodate them, per se, just stay aware. Here's the thing, guys, is other people's feelings are their feelings. And our feelings are our feelings. And because one person or another feel a certain way about certain conversations doesn't necessarily mean we should change us. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying be mean. I'm not saying be rude or disrespectful. I'm saying to change who you are and who you want to be for another person. Be careful on that, because if it changes again who that want to be and that aligned state, at some point it's going to throw you out of balance, and I wouldn't recommend it. So, other notes from the day. Now, one of the things that I've known and I highly encourage you to monitor, keep an eye on, is your confidence rating throughout the day. I can tell you on most days, I'm pretty confident and optimistic at this point, going into mid-afternoon. Most days. Of course, we all have off days, right? Yesterday, to me, was a little bit of an off day. And I notice, especially around, and I'm an early riser, so I'm up 4:30, 5 o'clock at the very latest every day. And I notice, depending on what my day looked like for the whole morning, by 3:30, 3:45, 4 o'clock, at times I can go from having the most amazing, confident, optimistic mindset, emotionally healthy, all of it, to around that time just totally tanking. And generally for me, that's my time zone between that 2:30 and 4:30 mark, depending on the day, when I stay hyper aware of where my mind goes, where my emotions go. Am I becoming emotionally heightened in any way? And today, for an example, it was right about that 3:30, 3:45 mark that I noticed a shift. And I noticed some dowdy conversation coming in. And guys, in that moment, it didn't take me but 5 or 10 minutes. Gratefully, I was in the position I could do this. I took a step back. I put work to the side. And I came in my living room and just did a brief meditation to recenter and refocus, rebalance myself so I could stay on the right track, as opposed to letting myself go down a rabbit hole of what I call a rabbit hole of shit. So watch those, track them for a week. See if there's patterns of where your emotional stability is and when you switch. Sometimes that can also, and I'm not the expert in it, I know some things about it when it comes to Chinese medicine. My doctor is amazing at it, and she's really helped me to learn like what times certain things happen and how it's tied to our body. Again, it's great tells to know what internally you can potentially shift that then changes your external confidence, internal emotional confidence as well. So there's that. Other lessons from the day, I tend to find when my confidence gets shaky is also, and I mentioned it yesterday, is also when I tend to get some amount of cravings, food cravings. And here's the thing, you guys, especially if you're falling on the spectrum of body confidence and managing your food intake, and especially if that tends to be a coping mechanism for you, find healthy options. For me, historically, and it still is to this day, Milwaukee dill pickles. For whatever reason, I can have 3 or 4 pickles and it can completely cut out my cravings when I'm steady enough to go for that first. And of course, when I just want to give in to having some type of chocolatey treat, my current favorite is honey badger protein mixed with unsweetened almond milk. No guilt, and actually it's quite healthy, being that it's protein and that actually helps stimulate cellular growth. This one also has a number of different digestive benefits as well. So find those healthy options for what your triggers are, if food is that one for you. And the last thing I just want to mention in combination with all of that is, guys, honor your body. Honor yourself to say, okay, in that moment for me this afternoon, I knew I had to take a step back. I knew for my body, my mind, my spirit, every part of my well-being, taking a step back was going to help me to keep moving forward into more calls that I had through the rest of the evening. And if I didn't take that, everything could have went sideways. And I may not be as in good mind as I am right now. So pay attention to yourself, pay attention to your habits, watch your routines. And as always, know this is a journey. Guys, I can tell you in my 8.5-ish years of my journey to heal, man, some days are just harder than others. But the thing of it is, the longer that you go, the more spaced out those hard days get. And believe me, I know when you're in that day of mess and you're just headed down that wrong road, it can be hard to pull it back. And saying those affirmative statements or asking those affirming positive questions, it can seem like you're saying it over and over and over again with no shift. But stick with it. You'll be glad you did. And try something different. Get yourself out of the state completely. Not out of the state literally, but out of the state as it relates to what you're doing. Go for a walk. Get some movement. Do some dancing. Just do something that will get you out of here and allow you to get out of the emotional state that you're in. So, on that happy note, it was great being here again tonight. I will be right back here tomorrow. And as always, if you like the content, like, share, subscribe, and take good care. Peace out, guys.